let's start. Okay, so welcome everybody here today. Welcome, and my name is Chrissy. I'm the lead RefectoCil trainer for North America. I do a lot of these webinars. If you're new here and first time meeting me, I have a passion for RefectoCil. As I mentioned, I do a lot of these webinars, and hopefully now that trade shows have begun, I could also be able to see you guys in person in classes. So hello everyone, Rosalina, Marivic, Rachel. Oh, hi Rachel and Kim. Okay, awesome. So I hope everybody's well. If you're new at RefectoCil period, I'd love to know that in the chat. So hi Farhana, Elizabeth, and dear Hera. Perfect. And we got Renee who's gonna help me today. Okay, so if you're new completely, so new here, Catherine, okay. First time, Leanne, okay. Okay, there's a lot of people who are new to RefectoCil. This is what I like to know, because with this webinar today, you'll be able to better grasp why potentially maybe RefectoCil can be the brand that you want to stick with when doing this service. So, and then we have some other ones who are longtime users like Kayla who love RefectoCil. So good, we got a mixture, but it's always nice to have new ones in that are fresh with RefectoCil, so we can all who are using RefectoCil share the love to you guys. Okay, so I see we have people who've been using it for 15 years like Robin. So awesome. So today we're going to strictly focus on brow lamination, because we know the trends on brows is always in. It's always something we talk about. It's always something we try to emphasize. Our brows are brows apart from our lashes. So we're going to talk about what we can do for the summer to be summer ready with our brows. Okay. Okay, welcome to all the new ones, semi-new, Brooke. Okay, so Jessica, we've got a lot of new ones, so this is awesome. I'm happy for that. We're gonna excite you today. So for those who use RefectoCil, throw in your exciting comments so that everybody else can see the love that RefectoCil has. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Let me push myself to the side. Now that we're good, that we've established we can see. So for all the new people, new to RefectoCil, I always put, ooh, from Botswana, my eye just caught that. Welcome, Shamima. I have a friend in Botswana. Welcome. Okay, so I like to put in this, in the training, because we do have, in the webinar, because we do have a lot of people who are also newer to RefectoCil. So we want to put a little bit about why RefectoCil. So, yes, Amina, it will be recorded. It is being recorded, okay? Hi, Shauna. So RefectoCil has been around for over 75 years, because it started in 1930, where they did all their research, figured out a better way to be able to tint your lashes and brows. And then finally the name RefectoCil was established in 1950. So for over 75 years, RefectoCil has been around. It's growing. It's being represented in more than 65 countries as the market leader in these sectors of your lashes and your brows. So it is a go-to brand, okay, to be able to style your lashes and brows. And because it's been around for over 75 years, I always say that they're doing something right. Their formulations are great. They are gentle, because we are working around the eye area. We're also working on hair that's much thinner than the hair on our head, not quite a lot of it. So they're always looking at whatever they're going to create, whatever new innovations they're going to make, or whatever reformulations, if they have to, if their brand is well presented and no formulations need to be done, that's great, because it's working just as good as it is. So that's something a little bit about RefectoCil. So for the questions about being recorded, yes, it is, and you'll find the recordings on our website and a thank you email. Okay. So for Amy, awesome. So now let's talk about the trend. Okay. So brows. What's the trend? Beautifully defined, full yet natural looking eyebrows, but without the painful treatments of, for example, makeup, permanent makeup, or even the microblading. Because we know that microblading or permanent makeup, it's not for everyone. Okay, so either it could be the cost, either it could be the feel, like they're not comfortable with getting going through a little bit of that more invasive treatment, maybe risking some kind of bacteria infection. They're just a little bit questionable about it. Well, we want to be able to offer something else That's a natural method. So the new brow lamination trend creates more volume, stability, and fullness. And that's perfect right now that we're in the summer season for swimming and enjoying summer sports. The service, the new brow lamination by RefectoCil service breathes new life into eyebrows. So you completely change the design, the style of the brow. So it's like giving it a new life, and courses the brow hairs into an ideal shape. So you as a professional, you're able to maneuver those hairs and position those hairs into the new direction that you want or the client desires them to go. So this summer, avoid having to fill in your brows to add thickness. A brow lamination and tint will be perfect for those days at the pool or playing summer sports. Waterproof brows that will complement your summer look. So, in the summer, with the humidity, and if we're doing a lot more sports, we don't want to be heavily in makeup. We don't want it to be comedogenic, like blocking our skin and so forth. We want it to be more natural, and that way we can enjoy the weather as well. And brow lamination and tint will be able to do that. If you start adding on other services like your lash lift and tint, even more, you've completed that summer look where you don't need to put no makeup at all. Okay? The looks, the 3 different looks. We've got the soap brow, which came out a while ago, where people were actually using, not a while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, but they were using actual bar soap and a spoolie, and they were wetting it and putting that on the brows to hold them up and separate them. And in time, it wasn't an effective method because you have to do it every day. Also, the soap can be a little drying out to the skin. When it touches the skin, maybe it might leave some residue behind. Then they actually came up with the actual pomade that was called soap brow, so that you can do it, if you wish to do it daily, you can have that method. Then came the laminated brows. You can see at the end of 2019 and then all of 2020, the brow lamination, that laminated look. So when you think laminated, you think of like you have a special document and it's been pressed into laminated with a clear covering over it. And it's got that shine. So that's what you think about when you think of the laminated look. So when you look at the soap brow, everything is just going upwards, 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 more fluffed, but all upwards, the hairs. When you think of lamination, they're pressed down to your brow bone and they're flowing all in the same direction. But you can still see that separation of each hair. Okay, that's what makes the thickness. Then these 2 looks, either it's a soap brow or a laminated brow. They're very extreme look for some people. So then there's the in between, which is your fluffy, feathery brow. So you have that nice motion where the brows start off going upwards, but then you have the hairs that start to lay down on the brow bone as a laminated look. So you get the both of 2 worlds, and it's a more subtle look. So this is the fluffy and feathery brow is the look that I like to give clients who are like a little bit hesitant on these more powerful looks. I can give them that look. Okay. So once again, it's how you position the hair, and we'll talk about it when I do the demonstration. Here's the kit, the beautiful kit. So for a lot of you who were waiting for the kit and didn't realize that we have a kit because you were able to use your lash lift or your lash curl kit, well, now we have the brow lamination kit on its own. So when you visit us at trade shows, you'll be able to purchase a brow lamination kit on its own, which has the 2 sets of the solutions. It has the 2 brushes. It has the bowls, and it also, we put this eye care pad, and I'll show it in my webinar today too. If you want to add more value to your, Renee, I'll let you answer Rachel's question because I don't believe it will be, but I'll let you answer that, Renee. So I was going to say again, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yes, for the eye care pads, sorry. When you use the eye care pads, you can add value and increase that experience from your client because you're giving them an eye treatment. Okay. When is your trade show near New York? I'm not quite sure. I think the New York trade show will be next year, but we are going to Chicago and premiere in Orlando. So I look out for us there. It's faster solution times. So no more 8 and 5, it's 6 and 4. So even faster. You can get in that client in and out with a brow lamination and a tint. So people are going to be coming on their lunch breaks, which is awesome. It's a quick service. If you're going to do a little shaping as well, then you add a couple, like maybe your service can go from about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, depending if you're adding that shaping and how much shaping they need. I need like, yeah, sorry. Yeah. In Orlando, it's in October. Once again, I'll see if Renee can answer that. It's in October, I think 17th or 18th, I think, that weekend that we're at Premier Orlando. Okay, so we know it's a total of 10 minutes. Awesome. It's nice and quick. And then the solutions. So we need to know when you're using what product you're using. It's good to know a little bit about the solutions, okay? So now that they're faster, as well as because we switched also the from the collagen to the keratin ingredient. So when you look in here, it says with ingredients, keratin and cysteine, you'll provide a nourishing lift. That's very important that we're not just doing a service, but we're also giving a treatment at the same time. So keratin, which is a protective protein, and your amino acids, cysteines, which help maintain the structure of the protein. Together, these two ingredients will work in helping with hair development, but also conditioning and protecting the hairs on your lashes or brows, because you're using them both in your lashes and your brows during the treatment. So they're being protected, and they shouldn't have any harm. With that said, you should be doing proper patch tests. With that said, you should be doing proper evaluation of their brows just in case, or their lashes if you're doing a lash lift, just in case they were maybe overly done in the past by someone, or they weren't taking really care of their brows. You wanna make sure that you work on good brows, and if they don't, sell them an aftercare, like our care balm, like they could use that for 3 to 4 weeks and then come in and do the service. Any reps in Ottawa? Tamara. For Ottawa, we have our sales rep. We do have our sales rep. If you are from a distributor, you can give me at the end. There is a contact, an email that you can contact me, and I can help you. Okay. Anybody that's asking for the reps, you'll have an email that I can assist you with. Okay. Yep. There will be a recording after 24 hours. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm up to par with the questions. Perfect. Then it's really good to provide aftercare. So we talked about the solutions. Now I talked about the eye care pads as well, that you can use them to enhance your brow services, and it has hyaluron inside, and it has vitamin E, and it has aloe vera. So you help with fine lines, and then you also help with any, it's anti-inflammatory, so with any puffiness as well, okay? So now we're talking about aftercare. When you're done the service, you need to, whatever you're doing, whether it's anything from RefectoCil, whether it's a lash lift, lash tint, brow lift, brow tint, you need to end the service with the styling gel. So if you're thinking of buying this kit, make sure you buy the styling gel, okay? Because you want to be able to have your disposable mascara on and apply it on their brows to condition, to hydrate, and to seal in the treatment, okay? And also, this is a retail item, so you can even include this in your brow lamination fee, like add the value of it into your service fee, and actually get your client to have it right away in their hands when they leave that day, so they can start using it. The styling gel also helps in between services. For example, brow lamination won't last as long as a lash lift because it is more exposed. It traps sweat from going into our eyes and so forth. So the solution won't last, the service won't last as long. Maybe you can get a 4-week wear out of it. Now, in the meantime, when you start seeing brows that are starting to fade down, it's really good to use this styling gel to hold them up in place between your next service. So how much is it? It's about, I believe if I'm correct, it's $39. But this is, I think the price that I'm suggesting is Canadian. So it's about there, about that pricing. Your local distributor that you order from should have it. If they don't, please reach out to me when I share the page with the email, and I will help you figure out who closest to you has this product. It is for retail, Natasha. So you have to use it. And you also have to, and also you can sell it as a retail. Rachel, in Niagara, we have Creata Beauty. Okay, Waterloo, Creata Beauty, I think would be the closest to you, would it? Creata Beauty or your Intercosmetics or your Nails R Us might be in between. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we talked about the aftercare, and now here's a little bit of a before and after picture. You'll get to see it live with my model. So it is that you can give them the perfect shape that they desire. It's quick and easy. It's so easy. It's super short application time, 6 and 4 minutes. Okay. And here is what I added. Rossi, it is, or Rosie, it is the RefectoCil styling gel. And it's styling gel. See right there, styling gel, and it's got a silver cap. Our Care Balm has a gold cap. Okay. Profitability. It's very important to know what profit you're making out of the kit. It's good to know. So if your kit, if you're in the US, it costs you $119.95. If you are in Canada, it costs you $129.95. If you take the base price of $75, we say it's between $75 to $90 is what you can charge for a brow lamination. If you take, you can do about 12 to 15 services in a kit. So if you take the 12 and times it by 75, out of one kit that costs you say $120 or $130, you can make back $900 in revenue with one kit. So that is awesome. It's the profitability of all our RefectoCil products is amazing, and also there's such quick and easy add-on services that do not require a lot of supplies. I just use my, your prep, which is your eye makeup remover, your saline, and at the end it's just water to clean it up the area. So pretty quick. Okay, so there's some questions. Brow lamination classes. If you want to do a certified class for brow lamination, please check our website at RefectoCilEducation.com, and you'll see the slide for that, because there are some distributors that are offering certificate classes. They are paid classes though, but the value of the class is pretty low. We're taking into consideration that we had a pandemic and the income is pretty hard for a couple of people. So the price for the class is pretty low, and you do get a certificate to show to your insurance, to show that you have sat into a class and can now offer this service. If you are a professional, licensed professional, you should be able to offer these services. You just got to check with your state board. Here in Canada, it's a little bit different than in the US. So you just got to check with your state board. Okay. Yeah. So Creative Beauty has the whole line for sure. As I mentioned earlier, in Florida, you can buy it. Rosie, you can buy it from Flamingo Beauty Supply. Okay. And then we got Small Town Beauty in Southwestern Ontario. Can you do a brow lamination right after the facial? You can actually do a brow lamination during a facial, meaning after you've done the whole like prepped, exfoliated, and not exfoliated, well, exfoliated, did your extractions or whatever, and it's time to put the mask on. You can do a brow lamination. A mask stays on for what? 20 minutes sometimes, 15 minutes. You can do it at that time. Okay. Just I would be careful if you're going to put a steamer on your mask. If you're going to have a steamer, then it might not be as effective. Maybe the humidity is going to affect. So then you would have to leave it at the end then after you're done your mask. Okay. It's Flamingo Beauty Supplies. So like the animal, Flamingo Beauty Supplies. I think they're in Doral. Okay. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Somebody else mentioned that as well with the mask. Just when you're applying a steamer, it might be a little bit tricky because the steaming, the humidity will affect the hairs. Okay. So towards the end of this, for the one, so I saw somebody's comment. The one down here that says 250 to 200 is if you do the complete brow styling, which includes your brow lamination, your tint, and your shaping. Depending on your demographics and where you're located, some people go up to 190. So because you're including it all in that one spot, that one timing. So whatever, usually when you do a combo pricing, you want to encourage them to do a combo pricing because they're also obviously going to pay a lot more, but you're also going to give them some kind of discount in between, like a $5 to $8 or $10 discount if they do it as a combo. Okay. And waxing is always the last thing you do. Never wax before. The wax is the last thing you do because you don't want to irritate the skin. If you were to wax before and then you did a brow lamination, all the solution touching the skin can irritate the skin and the tinting as well because your pores have been open from pulling out from releasing that hair from the follicles. So just be very careful. You leave the waxing till the end. Okay. Benefit for the salon. A brow lift is the perfect way to get especially disruptive and stubborn eyebrow hairs into tip-top shape. This is perfect as well for male clientele. okay, to relax their brows. I always joke around and say if they have like Jack Nicholson type of brows, they're very like, they have got some curls going on too, and they look very aggressive. For him, it did well for him because he's like a popular actor because of that. But for some people, it's really aggressive to look for some men. You can cover any gaps and magic up the effect of full dense eyebrows. So if the gaps are very minimal, did you guys like that Jack Nicholson one, Natasha? If you have really less gaps, the brow lamination is awesome because the hair gets relaxed and gets longer. So it covers those little minimal gaps. If you have a lot of gapping going on though, there's so much magic that a brow lamination can do. That's where you probably have to seek out a microblading or laminate them and then stain the skin with something like a henna type of tint. Okay, I just saw a question. How much is a tint by itself? The service or the tube? Depending on if you're in the US or Canada, but the service of a brow tint usually ranges from $15 to $20 for the service. And then we have, we have some distributors that Terry's got this. Thank you, Terry. New York, you got Paul's Beauty. I don't know them off by heart. Usually I have Renee on here that answers it because she is our sales rep from the US. But once again, any questions that I wasn't able to satisfy you with a proper answer, email me and I'll get it even better for you, okay? So some people charge 20, yeah. So we usually say 15 to 20 depending on the demographics because a lot of clients, if the tint doesn't last them long, 20 is too much. You know, it just depends. You know your clientele and you know your area, okay? We do not offer henna at the moment, sorry. So the benefit for the customer, laminating and tinting brows has an immediate effect. Your client's gonna walk out of that salon with full, dense, thicker brows right away. They don't have to wait for anything. They don't have to come back for a touch-up until after 4 weeks. By permanently shaping the hairs, gaps can be perfectly filled without painful treatments such as microblading or permanent makeup, and especially suitable for bushy, stubborn hairs. Remember, the solution is actually relaxing the hair. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is recreating that shape. Okay. The other last thing I want to show, if you don't know, is that RefectoCil now has a makeup line. So I use these on my brows, the pencils, because as I get older, sadly, my brows are thinning out a lot. And for my face structure, having a full brow suits my face structure a lot. So sometimes I do have to do a little bit of filling in. So these pencils come in light, dark, and medium and dark brown. They are awesome. They glide on so nicely. They create nice hair strokes. They are on the pricey range, but if you're a type of person that uses Benefits Cosmetics and uses their brow pencils, which I love, which one of them cost me like 50 bucks. It's similar to Benefits, and that's why they're a little bit on the higher end. They're really great quality and create really nice strokes of hairs to fill in your brows. And I usually buy the light brown and the dark one, and I utilize all of them, but I like to do an ombre look. So I mix the pencils to create an ombre look. We also have the highlighter. It feels like silk when it's touching your skin. It goes on so nice. It glides so nice. You can offer these at the end of your brow lamination for somebody who might have a little bit of gapping showing and you want to touch up some of that area. And then when you shape them after, you take the highlighter and you even emphasize nicely the brow bone. So they're really nice for you to use as well in your in your salon, but also they're retail items. That's what they'll do great as well. But if you're using it in your treatment, they get to see it and they want to buy it. Okay, I will see the questions. Give me 1 second. So your question, can you fill in with the lamination if there is just one minor spot that can be corrected with? Yes. If there's just if there's very barely like small little gaps, like very small that it's not too much hair is missing, yes, brow lamination will work its magic and cover those spots. East York, for Toronto location, you would have to try from like we had like that Mississauga area and Intercosmetics, Nails R Us, Euro Essentials. They will carry the whole line. Okay. Thank you, Renee. Thank you so much for getting back. Okay. Do you offer tutorial videos? We do have them on our website. So let's go to finishing these slides because my model is going to come in to lay on the bed and we prep her. So there are more educational opportunities to look out for. We have our next RefectoCil webinar on August 10th, and I'm going to be showcasing both lashes and brows together in one service and how you can do it. And so that if you'd like to register, go to RefectoCileEducation.com. And then our Quran Lab webinars, there's 2 happening, one on August 9th and the other one on July 19th and the other one August 9th. One is on brows, and the other one's on bikini to Brazilians. So check out there. You can register in the US at www.quranlab.com or Canada for www.quranlab.ca. Oh, it's great to hear, Debbie. And then final thing we like to put on here is our infection control education. This is free. This is going to help you level up your knowledge for infection control, especially with what we went through with the pandemic. A lot of people were a little bit set back with what they were doing, if they were proper practices or not, or do they have to refresh their skills in infection control and to be able to keep yourself, your staff, and your clients safe. So please, I urge you guys, try this education. It does take quite a while. If you want to finish in one day, it's about 6 hours, but depending on your knowledge and your reading skills, you don't have to complete it in one day. You can take increments. It remembers where you left off of, and you do get a certificate for this. What great way to show your client that during the pandemic, you were looking out for their best interest as well, okay? And then the final thing that we want to showcase is our prizes. You know, we always do some prize at the end of our webinar. So for this webinar, if you do want to win the Brow Lamination Kit, here's some quick and easy, 3 easy steps to complete. Follow us on Instagram if you're not already following us. Like us on Facebook and leave us a review if you're not already have done that. And then go to any of our latest RefectoCil posts, like that post, and then drop a comment including the hashtag Summer Ready Brows. And the contest is going to end on July 27th, and I will announce the winner on Instagram. So get going with the contest because it's always nice to win stuff. And if you do win the kit, you can start offering these services. I'm going to leave this page on here while I'm going to try and prep myself and my client with PPE, but to stock us on social media, follow us on Instagram, RefectoCil North America, or the training account that I have, Broista by RefectoCil. Like us on Facebook, which is RefectoCil North America. Review us. Tell us how you like the webinar, anything that keeps us knowing that we're doing a great job. And then visit our educational website at www.RefectoCileEducation.com. That is where you're going to get those resources that some people have asked if there's any tutorials. There are brochures you can download. There's color cards you can download. It's going to be your means of furthering your education in RefectoCil. There's no selling on this website. It's strictly education. You can see what's new, what's changed. For example, our glues have changed for our lift and curl system. We have our new faster solutions, and then any upcoming webinars you want to register. If you have any questions, any technical questions, or I missed answering your questions because it's going to be kind of hard to go back up, you can email me at education@cbngroup.com, and I'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, and Karamjit, you asked how often to do the brow lamination after 4 weeks. So after that 4-week has hit, if their brows are starting to fall back into their original shape, then you bring them in, but nothing before 4 weeks. You don't want to over process and overdo it because it is chemicals too at the end. And especially if they're not maintaining it properly at home, right? You always have to inspect their brow hair as well. The hashtag, I will put it back on there. The hashtag was Summer Ready Brows. Okay, Teresa? So right here in the bold, Summer Ready Brows. Okay, so I will prep for our live demonstration. So give me a minute. The camera will shut off so I can reposition it onto the bed. So no worries, I'm still here. If you have any questions, ask them away now because then I can answer them. So let me switch the camera. But I can answer the question still. So non-existing brows, what you would do is you can as a professional when you're seeing the brows, you can see it a little bit better, even if you maybe have a magnifying glass, but you would tint them afterwards too. So a brow lamination could work if they have hair there, but you would have to tint them for sure afterwards. You would have to tint them for sure afterwards so that you can see the shape more effectively. But it will work if there's hair there. You just have to focus a lot more and look at those hairs where you're applying the solution and not try to get on too much skin. If you were to tint before, what happens when you put the solution on, it's going to break down the tint anyway. So it's your contour fitting, you're going like backwards on it. So it's best that you tint it afterwards. Oh, don't worry, Elmira. I'm just trying to change the camera view to my model. I just didn't want you guys having to see us trying to switch the camera and get all dizzy. So I have my wonderful model, Lori, who's volunteered today to be our brow lamination webinar model. So once again, if it's making you dizzy, just don't look at the camera. Okay. I'm going to zoom it in. I'm going to make the camera the main screen so you guys see it bigger. I'm going to unblur it. There's a question. Give me 1 second with your question. I can't see it right now because I'm just trying to fix the camera. So give me 1 second. I'll get back to your question. Let me put my mask on, gloves on. Let me get gloves. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm just getting my gloves ready. And then once I position the camera, you guys can let me know if it's okay. Just my computer's being a little bit slow right now. Is that good? The Facebook account is just RefectoCil North America. The Facebook. Okay, is there a one for very white blonde hair but doesn't make client look like Groucho Marx? Okay, so you have to get the light brown, but you have to monitor it because if you leave it past in 3 minutes, it can be pretty dark. So just get the light brown and use that, and before it reaches 3 minutes, just before, wipe off a brow just to look at it. We don't have anything lighter than light brown, unfortunately. So you'll just have to put it on because during that 1 and 2 minutes, it's trying to oxidize. And if you remove it earlier, it might not last as long. But in this sense, you have to monitor it. So I would remove it a little bit before 3 minutes and see how it's taking, and it's not too dark. Okay. Everybody can see properly. It looks good. I could probably get her a little bit more higher. Give me 1 second. Oh no, I got the app. Laura, you don't have to worry. Cool. Yeah, it does it for me, which is so cool. There we go. Perfect. If that's good for everyone, awesome. Okay, so I got myself all prepped with my gloves, my mask on, and what we're gonna do is we have to prep the client. So before I put that, the eye care pads, I'm gonna show you step by step. Oh, there goes better. That's okay. Okay, so the first step is the eye makeup remover. So if you're really new at RefectoCil and you haven't even done any of the tinting, this is the product that you're going to need. Okay. Okay, RefectoCil Micellar Non-Oily Eye Makeup Remover. So, and it's got strengthening properties in it too. It helps a lot to keep the hairs conditioned as well after they've been treated. So I like using the eye makeup remover to remove bleaching when I bleach the brows because it gives them that strengthening effect. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pour a little bit onto, even if the customer comes without any makeup, please, 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 please do this part because there's environmental factors, there's dust, sweat, and other things that can play a part, okay? Okay, so I'm going to prep them with the non-oily eye makeup remover. And even like the trimming at the end, obviously when you do brow lamination, the brows will get a little bit slightly longer. If you have to do any trimming, leave that to the end too. That way you can see the full scope of what the brow looks like and then shape it even better. Okay, so after I've done this, my next step, which is very important, is the saline solution. This is very important because it degreases everything and it gets rid of everything that, even the eye makeup remover. Okay, so saline solution. The only kit I can find on Intercosmetics is anyone money. I know you said it's $129 Canada. Is there another way to order that one? I'll have to check what Intercosmetics is selling with $181. They probably included the saline solution. They probably included something in there. So we'll have to check and see why. I would actually call them and see. But maybe they included something. I just bought it on Sunday at Nails R Us in Mississauga for $120. Because there's a discount. There's a promo happening this month. So yes. So it will be, once again, if you're going to order from Intercosmetics, just find out why it is that fee, because they might have added something else in it. Okay? If you need my help with that later on, you let me know. You can email me. Oh, it does have the saline, right? Okay, I thought so. I thought they added something else in the kit to make it like that because people forget to buy the saline. So some distributors include it. And just add the kit, like a kit, and raise the kit price, right? To include the saline solution. Because it's very important to have the saline solution. So for example, the one at Nails R Us, you're not getting the saline solution. So if you pay another like 10, 11 bucks for it. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, so I prepped. She's all ready. You have to let the area dry. So now I'm just using a dry. Let the area dry. And now we're going to put the eye care pads. Thank you for the people helping out and sharing the link. Thank you so much. London, Ontario, I'm not quite sure if Central Beauty has brought it in. You can try with Central Beauty. If not, the distributors in Mississauga would be the ones closest that carry the whole line. It would be Nails R Us, Euro Essentials, Intercosmetics, and Fernandez. So if any one of those that you are ordering from them, they'll have it as well. Okay, so eye care pads, you just get one of them in your kit, but don't worry, we sell it in a pack of 10 that you can offer these services to your clients, and also you can put these as a retail item. Okay, I wear them at home and walk around with them every once a week. I do a treatment on my eyes and I put them in the fridge so they can be a little bit cooler, and then it's so refreshing though on a nice hot day. And I finish other errands and I have these on my eyes. Okay, the link is for the certification webinar or lash lift. If you're going to the Nails R Us one, I'm not quite sure if Intercosmetics is doing a class, but Nails R Us, if you go onto their website, they do have a certification class for brow lamination. Yes, there is a specific lamination kit. It looks like this. Okay, it's in a cylinder container. Okay. If I miss any questions, please ask them again, and hopefully Renee can help me answer them. But I hope I didn't miss any other question. No, just brow lamination on its own. The class at Nails R Us. Yep. And you can visit our website at RefectoCileEducation.com and you can see all the other certification classes. We just had one for lash lift. So just keep that website as something that will help you to see if you want to get attend a certification class. I'm just going to put this a little bit lower. Okay, open up your eyes for me. So if you're going to use eye care pads too, it's good that you clean the area too, just in case they did have powder, makeup or anything. So you're just going to put it, lay it there. And they're just going to get a nice eye treatment at the same time that you're doing their brows. These are perfect to hold down the bottom lashes when you're doing a lash lift as well. Okay. The course is not needed. If you are a licensed professional, you can do these services with ease because you are an esthetician background or a cosmetician background. So you have the training of understanding skin and hair. But if you don't have any of that base knowledge, you should be attending a class. Okay, you can close for me? Perfect. So now they just get to relax and they get a nice treatment going on. Now, yes, where we do have the eye care pads and all the distributors that we mentioned should have these. Okay. Patch tests are very important too. So please patch test your client, even though you're like, oh, it's just their brows, patch test the lash perm solution, the patch test the neutralizer, and patch test, well, you're not using glue. So patch test those two and the tint mixed with the oxidant. It's very important that you patch test all your new clients and then re-patch test your regular clients every 6 months, because things change in their lifestyle. They might have gone through some kind of trauma. They could have gone through cancer with treatments and so forth. So it's very, or new allergies. So it's very, or new medication change. So it's very important. Okay. So now I'm going to start with my tubes. Now, some of you have already known about RefectoCil, like already using RefectoCil. The older tube, like the old tubes, had this red writing on them, and they said 8 minutes. Okay. The new tubes now are going to look like one of them. The lash perm is going to look like this with the pink writing and no timing on it. The neutralizer will have silver writing on it, no timing. So when you see the new solutions with no timing, those are the new ones for 6 and 4 minutes. Okay. So let me just see if I'm missing anything. IQ Pads, who ordered? So excited. Oh, perfect, Robin. Happy to hear that. That was a quick order. Any distributors in Newfoundland, or I would have to order it in? Yes, there is somebody in Newfoundland. Is it O'Regan's? O'Keefe? O'Keefe, yeah. O'Keefe agencies. O'Keefe agencies, yeah. Okay, so let me squeeze in my pea size amount in my bowl number 1. So you have bowl number 1 and you have brush number 1. So make sure you don't mix up your bowls and your brushes. So I'm going to squeeze my pea size amount. Okay. Now it comes out pink, so don't worry. Before, our tubes, when they came out clear and then they turned pink, is because they oxidized. Now they just come out pink, period. So what you should do too, you have your these are the brushes that come into your kit with a nice silicone and the brush on the other end. What's very nice to do is actually brush the brows. Just, some brows won't go in the direction you want them to go, but it's nice to brush them and just separate them, especially when they were a little bit wet. Okay. Okay, so I brushed them, and right now I'm going to start applying the solution. So I'm going to like swirl it a little bit just to separate it, and then I'm going to start applying it. Now, people ask, well, can we use protection cream? The thing is, when you use a protection cream and you're outlining the brow, halfway through the time, when you have to go in and brush the hairs, you're going to touch the solution with the protection cream. You're going to bring the protection cream back in, and it's going to become a barrier, and it won't be able to effectively do what it's supposed to do. So avoid the protection cream, but be careful when you put it on skin. So say, for example, you're going pretty quick and you got it on the skin, like that. You want to quickly grab a Q-tip because you don't want it to sit there for a long time. You quickly want to grab a Q-tip, wipe it off of that too much of the skin area, and that way the client won't feel any irritation or so forth. Okay. Now, I had a model yesterday when I did a class, and her brows are very fluffy. So you had to take your little ball, of, and dab it like this to get those hairs on the top because they were sticking upwards. Okay. I'm just going to clean that brow area again. Now, if you're going, so the times are 6 and 4 minutes, but if you're going to use the plastic wrap, like the saran wrap, it's 5 and 3 minutes. The wrap is occlusive. It provides heat, so the solution will penetrate even faster into the brows. Okay, so you don't want to over process. So let me just do the other side. Even though, like, even though they haven't taken yet shape because they're going to, I'm still trying to follow the shape that I want to give them. So that you get into the habit. Like, I'm going to give her that fluffy at the beginning and like a soapy, and then that laminated look. Okay. So now I'm going to grab my plastic wrap so I can show it to you guys. The plastic wrap is really good for people who have stubborn brows, and also if you want to do that laminated look, so you can press them down. If you want to use the glue, you can, but RefectoCil is all about having like quicker, less steps to do, but being effective. So we don't use the glue. But if you want to, that's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to clean the skin area. I'm going to put the plastic wrap. Oops. To hold them down. And in that meantime, Lori, was it okay if we, oh no, we're going to do the tinting. No, we're good. I was going to ask something else, but it makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to put that plastic wrap, and during that time, you know, you never want to leave your client alone. You want to be there with them. You can either give them a nice little hand massage or shoulder massage, not soldier. I'm just trying to get the plastic wrap so I can put it on her brows. I'm only leaving it at 5 minutes. Now, at 2.5 minutes, I'm going to go in and brush her brows. Okay? So let me see the questions. Give me 1 second. Just going to put on the timer. So, questions. What is the solution? The first solution, step number 1, is lash perm. Okay? So 6 and 4 minutes is if you're not going to use a plastic wrap. 5 and 3 if you're going to use the plastic wrap. So 5 minutes is your lash perm. 3 minutes is your neutralizer. Okay, so this is what they look like. There's lash perm, so lash and brow perm, because you can use on both lashes and brows. And that's the step number 1. That's 5 or 6 minutes, depending if you're using plastic wrap. And the second one is your neutralizer. This is the part that's going to shape the brow now. So it says neutralizer there. It's really hard to see it. But this is what's going to shape the brow. Okay, and it's step number 2. Okay. When does the timing actually start? I'm cutting down my 5 minutes a little bit because it should have started 30 seconds ago. So I have an internal clock, so I can do it. But what people do is they have 2 timers. As soon as they start putting the solution on one brow, they start a timer and they go to the next one. So if you're new, I suggest follow that timing, because I've been doing this for so many years. It just becomes easier for me, and I have an internal clock. But a lot of people have 2 clocks, like they have 2 separate for both brows. Okay. If someone done microblading, what do we do? If the microblading has been like after a year, you can do it as long as they have hair. If they have hair and it's uniform, the hair, like it's not only one section that has hair and the tail end that has no hair. If the hair is there and it's uniform, yes, you can do a tint and brow lamination. So the wrap knocks off a minute. Yes. Yes, Erin. Would it make sense to saran wrap only the last brow done to make it even time with the first, like 6 or what's going to happen is it doesn't really matter, because you'll go to remove. So if you put the solution first on this time, that's where you'll go remove first. So by the time you're removing that, the extended time is on that brow. So what you can do is just lift up one side like that. You can lift up the one side and leave that on and clean that brow. Okay. The first step is step number 1, which is called lash perm. It's breaking down the bonds or the keratins of the hair. So it's making them more moldable, so I can move them around. What's contraindications? You just gotta do a patch test to find out, but you can't do this on somebody who's like freshly, like you shouldn't do it on somebody who's freshly waxed. You shouldn't do it on somebody who takes Accutane, who does HP peels, who takes retinols and so forth. You have to stay away. With Accutane, you gotta wait like after 6 months to work on them. Plus, you have to make sure that they finish the medication, and after they finish the Accutane, it's 6 months after you can start doing it. Okay, it's like with waxing, you have to wait 1 year before you can touch a client, wax them who've done Accutane. Let me go in because I have to brush it. So this is why you do halfway through the mark. So at 2.5, because I have 5 minutes, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to look at the hair and see how it's taking. And then this way I can see where I have to put more solution. So her brows towards the arch here to the end are a little bit more stubborn. So I'll wipe off all that on the skin. And just quickly put a little bit more in that area that I felt was a little bit more stubborn. And then close up the plastic wrap and leave it for the remainder of the time. Okay, so I'm going to close that up, do the other side. So you can see how like the hairs are going longer now. Can you see that? And I'm pressing really gently. And that's why it's very important to use these brushes, because they are silicone and they're gentle on the hair. The disposable mascara ones are a little rough on the hair. Okay, close it back up, and there's only like about another minute remainder time. Okay. Let me just see if the lamination didn't give the result. Okay, if the client already has tinted eyebrows, will this remove the tint? The brow lamination does tend to take some color away, so for sure it will strip some of that color. If the lamination didn't give the results you were hoping for, can you re-laminate and reduce time right after? Okay, so lamination, it's not like a lash lift where, oh my goodness, it didn't turn as lifted. The lamination is so easy that you will always have results. Now, the thing you have to remember is just the tips. Like I said, there's some parts of the hair that are very stubborn still. So that's where you'll have to focus more timing. Now, if you felt like as you removed it after the timing and you lifted it and their corners were still pretty not taking form, then I would remove all the solution everywhere else and just leave it in that area for another minute. Right? But if I've never had to redo a brow lamination because the effect is right away. It's easier to maneuver the brows. It's easier to apply more solution as opposed to a lash lift. There's certain tips or tricks, and if you miss them, the result doesn't show. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if I was able to answer. How do you disinfect the brushes for, okay, so if you're in Canada, we have preempt disinfectants. So clean them first with soap and water because you will have debris and you will have like solutions in the bristles. Clean them, have a nice nail brush that you can brush the bristles, and then dry them and then put them in your, spray them with your RTU. If you put it in your HLT5 or CS20, you will disintegrate the brushes. So do not put them in that. They're too strong for that, okay? If you're using tweezers though, when you're shaping, those should go to HLD5. Okay. Hopefully that helped you, Terry. So it's RTU that you'll use. If you want to soak them in something, I would say concentrate. Perfect. I think I'm up to date with all the questions. Okay, so let's go in back to the brows because my timing is done. So once again, remember how we said that, oh, well, should you leave it longer with the plastic or whatever? So you can do that. Remove one. And as you're working that brow, that side is still getting the effect. Dry Q-tip. Oops, sorry. Dry Q-tip, okay? Now she does have one or two that are new growth that are sticking up, but they're so short. This one right here. Potentially during shaping, you can just remove that one hair. But otherwise, they're pretty relaxed. Okay. So because I've already cleaned that side and already extra seconds or almost a minute, I've already focused on that side. Now I can remove the whole thing. Okay, so hopefully that helps the question when somebody had asked previously. Sorry, I forgot the name of who had asked. And once again, dry Q-tip. Okay. Now, it's very important that before you apply the neutralizer that you brush the brows now in the direction we want them to go. Okay? So if we wanted to do, if you were going to do the laminated look, all this would roll out like this way, okay? But I want the beginning to be a little bit more fluffed. And then this to stay more laminated. Or some people like the whole up, 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 and then you can put the laminated. But I'm going to do this softer for Lori. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to put the neutralizer. So now we have relaxed the hair. We've relaxed it. Now we want to put it back into shape with the neutralizer. Okay. So I'm going to squeeze my pea-sized amount. Same like I did with my lash perm. I'm going to grab my second bowl, my second brush. Okay. Mix it up. I'm going to come to your questions. Let me just apply this. And when you put the plastic wrap on, do not touch after this. Do not open it halfway like we did with the lash perm. The neutralizer now is trying to form it. So when you're applying the neutralizer, go in that way that you want the hair to go. Okay? So because we want the hair to form now, we don't want to disrupt it at all. And I'm being pretty like gentle, so I don't disrupt those hairs. And you don't always have to use a plastic wrap, but today I'm just showing it to you. If you have very thin, fine brows that they just take the form easily, you don't have to use the plastic wrap. Unless they want the more pressed down look. Okay. So I'm going to clean the skin area. And I'm going to apply my plastic wrap. Okay, I'm going to come see your questions. And because I'm using a plastic wrap, it's not 4 minutes, it's 3 minutes. Okay. And if you want to give client comfort, you can put a tissue too on top of their eyes if there's too much lighting going on. Okay, so let's see what questions we have. Let's see. I miss that. Okay, so Rachel, soaking concentrate or clean with RTU, HF5 will discern. Yeah, so concentrate, you can put it, when you're soaking in concentrate, it's a ratio of 1 to 128. So, and then, 1 to 140. 1 to 128 is to clean them, 1 to 140. So your ratio is 1 to 40. 1 to 40 is your ratio. So like this, let me write this on. If it's your concentrate, it's 1 to 40, okay? RTU is ready to use, so it's straight. You don't have to dilute it. Okay. 3 minutes for this step number 2. And should you be careful not to get neutralizer on the skin? You just don't want it to be all on the skin. So I removed it with the Q-tip. It's not as, it doesn't cause as like the irritation as a lash perm would. But once again, if you have a sensitive client, you want to refrain from leaving anything prolonged on their skin. Okay. Yes, 3 minutes with yes, Debbie. Thank you for answering. Thank you. The answers my questions. After service, what precaution for the day? So avoid having, we say to have the best results after, because during that 24 hours, the hair follicles, yeah, they'll close sooner, but within that 24 hours, they're trying to seal. So do not do any water or prolonged shower with humidity. Avoid, if you can, a shower right away. And then any oils avoid for 24 hours, any makeup avoid for 24 hours. You will get the best results that way because then the hair will have sealed properly and then they won't affect the results. Same goes with the lash lift. No, I wiped it off, Tina. I wiped off the neutralizer from the skin. So yes, it touches when you're applying it, but then take a Q-tip and remove it from the skin. Okay. Yeah, tanning. You probably would not have gone freshly tanned and came in because also that heat too can irritate the skin. So, and then don't do tanning until I guess obviously 24 hours later because in the tanning booth you do have that humidity effect. You will sweat. So yes, before and after, do not do it like right away before you get a brow lamination, and after wait 24 hours. Okay. Chlorinated pools too. Yep. When we say water, try to avoid anything. Swimming as well for the next 48 hours. Even when you wash your face, try not to be abrasive and try not to put too much stuff going onto the brows. Avoid the brow area. Okay? So yeah. Will the brow lamination cause irregular hair growth like lash lift does to lashes? I really have not encountered any irregular growth. I do mine I try to do them every 6 weeks, my brows. And I have not encountered any irregular growth. When you're saying irregular growth, is it because you have your new growth that has no shape, and then you have your lift that your lashes are lifted, so you see two different types of growth? Let me know. What is the use? Okay, so I got to remove it in a minute. So let's make sure. What is they use a brow growth serum? Oh, what if they use a brow growth serum? The manufacturer says it doesn't really affect it. But I would like to say don't use it for the next 24 hours. Like don't use it before the treatment and don't use it afterwards for 24 hours, I would say. Okay. Where can they start applying again? When can they start applying again? You mean the makeup, the brow serum, 24 hours after. Shadows and makeup. The thing is, okay, we say 24 hours later, but if your client that day needed you to fill them in with a little bit of our makeup or pencils, it's fine. It won't affect it dramatically. It's if you start putting heavily stuff onto you, and actually oil stuff, right? Or if you're doing your lashes and you're putting mascara. But if that client has to go somewhere that night and they don't mind, then you can offer that service to fill in their brows a little bit, and they can go do it at home. But they're going to also be using oil-based makeup remover at home. So that's what we have to be careful. If they're going to use makeup, don't use anything that's waterproof so that they can use a non-oily eye makeup remover. Okay? I haven't encountered my lashes do that with the lash lift, but it could be also with some contraindication with somebody's medication that maybe the lashes might not grow the same way that they were originally growing. It could be that the effect as well. Okay, let me go remove it because the time is up in 30 seconds. Dry Q-tip. We got 18 seconds. Okay. Hopefully I've been able to answer all your questions. If not, repeat it again and I will by all means answer it again. Everybody's lovely in helping and answering the questions too, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to lift it. Dry Q-tip. So you can see now the brows are like resting. They're resting in that position now. Okay. Now Lori has a warm in her hair, so what I'll just do is do the natural brown. So I'm just going to remove, but I'm not going to leave it too long. I'm going to check them. After a brow lamination, the tint stays on for 3 minutes, but I'm going to check it at halfway mark at 1.5 minutes just to see how it's taking because I don't want to make them too dark. So because the hair follicles are open, they will accept the tint faster. Okay, so let me mix my tinting. Now you can do a little bit of a wipe of the saline solution, but very lightly if you wish. Don't over wet your paper at all. Like don't keep it too wet. So I just did it very slightly, a little bit wet, and you can do a little cleanup just slightly like this. Okay. No rubbing, no like back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna mix my tint. So I've got my little artist palette that flips into my hand here, which is awesome. My hands can be free. Okay, don't mind the little staining on my glove. Every time I wear a ring, it does that. These gloves are not the greatest. Okay, so I'm gonna take my natural brown, and I'm only gonna use 1 centimeter because our ratios is usually 2 centimeters, but because it's a lot of tint and Lori's brows are medium, I'm only gonna do 1 centimeter. So let me. So I'm only gonna do half that line that's in there. Oh, my laptop. Give me 1 second. They say it doesn't affect, like it, you can do it while they're pregnant, but what we had said for lash lift is that sometimes in certain trimester, I think it was a second, sometimes it might not turn out. So it's a game that you have to like see. You can't predict if it's going to take or not. That's what they had said with the pregnancy. The bowl, this artist palette, all our distributors should have it. So all the ones that we had mentioned today should have it. Okay, so it doesn't drip. Okay, so let me put because it's usually 2 centimeters of tint to 15 drops of cream, I'm only going to put, because I only put 1 centimeter, I'm only going to put 7. Okay, let me mix that. So you're going to mix until you get a nice creamy texture. Our browns do have a warm undertone. Now, if I had a model that she had clean, like blonde hair, I would put graphite in there to cool it down. Because if your client has a warm undertone, the tints get warm too. So I'm just mixing it till I get a creamy texture. Now it's where you'd want to have protection cream because the follicles are open, so you don't want to cause any unnecessary staining. So I take the protection cream that we have. Okay, and I'm going to squeeze some on my hand here. And I'm going to apply it with a Q-tip around her brow. Make sure you don't get it on the hair because then it will not allow the tint to take. Okay. Now I can start tinting. Yeah, you just switch your head like this. Thank you. And what you can do that if you're not pretty quick at this at the beginning, you can start your timing now on the one brow because it takes so quick if you were worried. And I like to grab a Q-tip. Once again, make sure you don't get the tint, the cream. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. So already the time on this one has started. On 1.5 minutes, I'm going to check it out. And go this side. So as soon as I put this brow on, in about 30 seconds, I'm going to check the other one. And this is where consultation with your client is very important, to know what level of darkness they want on their brow. So because I do get a lot of calls. Most of the calls I get is professionals freaking out because their client was complaining it was too dark. So be mindful after a brow lamination that it does get dark. So I'm just going to clean that edge. Okay, so now I can check the other brow. I'm just going to do one more thing here. Okay, so I'm going to check the other brow. There is questions, so give me a second because I'm just trying to multitask here. So let me just see what question. Yeah, you tint afterwards, not before. Your tinting is first lamination, then tinting, because you will fade off the tint if you do tint first and then laminate, and then you're just over processing because you're going to have to tint again. The tint stays on for 3 minutes only, but I'm going halfway through the mark at 1.5. And what I like to do is I remove the first part first because she did have a lot of brow. You see, it went dark. It's pretty good. I don't want to take it off now. That's why I always monitor it halfway, because if I left it on for full 3 minutes, it could be too. Now the ends, I can leave them a little bit longer, right? To match. So the ends are okay to leave them on a little bit longer. And then about 30 seconds, I'll check that one. You know, you're sculpting. Think of it as you're sculpting. So far, so good for everybody. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. Obviously, it's taking a little bit longer because of the questions I have to answer. So let me just see before I remove the other side. Yes, so 1.5, you check. Yeah, so Tamara is right. So you check at 1.5 to see how dark it's gone, like I did at her beginning of her brows, and that's pretty good. So I don't have to leave it the full 3 minutes. Happy with the shape and the thickness of the brows. You have to educate them first, and that means you have to show them those pictures. I did attach in your thank you email, you will be getting a brochure. Show them those 3 looks. Print it out and show them those 3 looks. And whichever one they gravitate towards with, that's the one you're going to do. And if in the consultation, that's what they wanted, they sign off on it. So if they don't like it at the end, it's not you to blame because you did your part. Okay? So always engage, educate your client, let them know what you're doing. Yeah, so the tint took really nice on her brows. Really quick. So that's what I mean. No need to just be like, oh yeah, 3 minutes, and then it when you remove it off, it's too dark. It's because the hair for different clients, it will grasp even faster. Right? Turn this way. And at the end, if you wanted to do any trimming, Lori has really good brows, so it should probably just need a little bit of a cleanup, and that's it. But you leave that till the end. And I'm removing with dry. See how nice the brow looks? Beautiful. If I want to do wet, I just do the on the skin. That's it. I don't want to put any water on the brows. I'm learning now to just take off the tint dry, no water. But if I want to clean around the skin, I do some water. Yeah, very nice. The brows turned out really good. I'm just gonna do one more check to see that there's not enough tint on this brow, so she doesn't have it when she touches her brows. Once again, I didn't put any water on her brows. Perfect. Okay, so let me remove the other one now. The other side, I'm gonna get her to move over this way. So does everybody understand what I just did right now? Like at the ends, I left them on longer because there's usually less hair on your ends for some people, and you want it to match and be thick, just like the beginning of the brows. So I leave the ends of the brows longer. Okay, so once again, I'm going to do dry. And then just on the corners, I want to use the water, like on her skin, if there was some unnecessary staining. Perfect. Okay, so let me just do. So what I would do now is brush them with the styling gel. Okay, get my disposable. So this is my styling gel. You can tell I use it a lot. And I'm going to not use the cap. I'm going to take a disposable mascara wand and use that. Okay. So now we're hydrating, we're conditioning, we're sealing in the treatment. And the hairs flow now in the direction I want them to go. I don't have to fuss around with them. Okay, now potentially she would need a little bit cleaning right here because it's not as crisp. I would just do a little tweezing right there. But otherwise, that's it. So let me just see if there's any questions that I might have missed. But all of you guys are helping with the lovely comments. I'm just cleaning out on the skin if there's too much. What do you guys think of her beautiful brows? Okay, so let me see what question. Yeah, you'll show them the picture of the different types of brows. See which brow shape they're gravitating towards, and then also ask them how dark do they want their brows, because or what color or what shade they're wanting. Always ask them, right? If the client tint a week before and decides to laminate with the tint from the week before, yeah, it will still fade. It will fade, Rose. I had mine done and she didn't show me any shape or picture. They came out horrible. After she finished the tint, I was so happy and didn't care at all. Yeah, I'm all pro. I don't know if you've ever watched my consultation webinar. I'm all about becoming almost like, we're not like best friends, but becoming that friend of your client and understanding deeply what they want. Because if you don't understand what they want, then you're not going to make them happy. What's the reason why they came to you and left somebody else? You have to inquire that and find out. And you want them walking out happy. So I would show the pictures. I always engage my clients, whether I do pedicures, manicures, anything. I always engage my clients. So I would show them the pictures, and you'll have that brochure. So print it out, laminate it if you like, laminate the brochure, and have it on a key ring and show your clients the looks. And then the tinting is very important, because you will have clients that will say, I don't want them too dark, and they will freak out. And so you have to be mindful. And all you have to do, like I did with Lori, is just remove one side of the brow to see how it's taking. Okay, and then reapply the tint if you have to, because I still have a little bit of tint in there. Like I'll have a little bit in the corner there, so I could still use it. Okay. So I'm sorry, Martha, you had a bad experience, but hopefully now with this training, you know how to do it to your clients properly. Yeah, I've learned now not to use water, because the water won't affect it a lot, but you know how we say avoid humidity, avoid water. So I learned, let's try not wiping it off, just a dry cotton pad, and that's it. As long as there's not tint in there, like dry it off with a dry cotton pad, but make sure there's no tint, because if they start touching by accident, they might spread it around. So yeah. Lash lift, I do on the lashes, you do use a little bit of water, but I'm always using a Q-tip effect. So when I'm working on the lashes, I want to follow and I don't damp my cloth a lot. It's very little water, but I go like this on the lashes, like this. Now I don't put and go like this with the cotton pad. I respect the lift and sandwich upwards. Okay, and slightly dampen your cloths, your cotton. Okay. So other steps, wax, no. Okay, so it's laminate first, tint second, wax third, and then aftercare loss. Okay, and if you have duty trimming, that goes with your waxing. Okay, yeah. I would think you have to, with the lashes being so close, you have to ensure all is removed. Yeah, you do have to put a little bit of water, but I don't dampen my Q-tips. I don't dampen my cloth. I don't go heavy with the water. Would you cut down to 1.5 minutes? Yes, just check it at 1.5 minutes and see if they have to be longer, Karen. So if they have very blonde brows, would you cut down to 1.5? Yes, I wouldn't leave it 3 minutes if they had light brows. Perfect, looks fabulous. Thank you, Natasha. They like the shape. Awesome, thank you. The brows are fab, awesome. After the product, can I wax? Wax first and then use a styling gel at the end. Your styling gel would be the final step if you're going to be waxing. If you're not going to be waxing, it goes right after the tinting. Beautiful, looks perfect. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Fanny. Amazing job. Love it. Beautiful, gorgeous. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, you do that after, Gina, the waxing. So hopefully I answered everybody's questions. And you know what? I did put the consultation. I have such brow envy. Aw, Robin. I do have the the webinar that I did on client consultation. If you feel you want to freshen up a little bit what you have to do with your clients, because your clients are what makes your business go, right? So you want to make sure that they're happy and want to come back returning into your chair. Okay, so thank you, Terry. We have to connect, Terry. I know you wanted to come in to get one of the services done by me, so we have to connect together. Email me sometime. Okay, so you want to see the model sitting up? Sure. Let me just zoom out though, because it might look pretty close. Give me 1 second, and then we'll have to end the webinar. Let me just see. Let me zoom it out. Okay, Lori, I'm going to ask you to, if you can get, oh, no, let me move the pads. Sorry. That's why she was waiting. She's like, I'm not going to walk around these pads. And they glide off nice and easy, and her skin's nice and smooth and soft. That's very nice. I like them, and these are what's gonna make your clients feel even nicely relaxed. And I did give into your webinar at the end when you get your thank you email. There's a webinar on how to do little massage techniques around this area. So I included that in that file in the thank you email. Okay, so let's get Lori. Let me just help. Oh, face this way. Hold on, the pads are sticking out to my gloves. So if you get up, I'm gonna face this way. Face towards this camera. So I'm gonna, but yeah, they want you to get up. So I'm gonna put the camera straight up, and then you can look into the camera. Her back, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, we have to clean out. Like if I were to do today, we're not doing a shaping, but I would just clean up this edge here from the arch down here to give it a sharp look, which I'll do afterwards because our webinar is past the time. It's a little blurry, I think. But that's what her brows look like. So we added thickness. She did have thick brows to begin with, but we added a little bit more fluff to them and maybe filled in a little bit of the little gaps that she had. And her brows, even to the tip, look fuller, right? So yeah, so try and do like the whole treatment together. Laminate, tint, and wax so that their brows look even crisper. Thank you guys. Beautiful, beautiful, great, nice, good. Thank you. So that's it. That's our webinar. So if you have any questions, you have the education at cbngroup.com email that you can get to me, and then hopefully I get to hear from you guys in our next webinar. And post tag, do the contest. Don't forget the contest. I don't know if I can put I can put the presentation back. Don't forget the contest. So you can win a kit, and if you want to do a certified class, check out our distributors, and we're always here to help. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. You don't see me right now, but we're waving goodbye. Thank you, and have a great afternoon. Chrissy.